Hello, everyone. A pleasant day to everyone. And welcome session is Seizing the Barriers of Writing a Research. And I would like to begin this by sharing a quote from Mark Twain, which states that supposing is good, but finding out is better. And I believe that the best way to find out is through research. But then again, when we hear the word research, it somewhat scares us because we think it's difficult because it entails a lot of money or a lot of time. But in this session, we are going to, those are just few reasons why we don't like research. But in this session, um, we are going to try to find ways or to address different issues that hinders us from writing a research. We will be discussing some productivity tools that will be very useful for us, especially in doing some research. All right. So in this session, here are our objectives. The first one is to identify the common problems in writing a research. So again, we will try to reflect what are the things that hinders us from writing a research. Next is discuss ways to ease some difficulties in writing and action research. So we are going to discuss how are we going to eliminate those problems or lessen the burden in writing a research. And then next is the last one is use different software to easily write a research. So again, I will be sharing to you some powerful softwares or applications that we can use in writing our research. All right. Now, before we start, let's try to play a game. I would like to see if most of you already know these applications or softwares that I will be discussing later on. All right. So the game is called Guess the Logo. I will be flashing some logos and then you tell me by putting your answers in the comment section. Um, well, you are going to tell me the uh, what's the name of the logo or what is the application or the software that is represented by the logo. All right. Okay, let's start with this one. Okay, I know most of us are using this one, so I maybe most of you already know it. This is a Canva. Correct. Congratulations. Next, let's have another one. How about this one? Yes, I think we are also familiar with this one because most of the teachers, or I think all of the teachers, have or are using this already. Yes, it's Microsoft. How about this one? Hmm. I think this is the most challenging logo. Um, in in my recent discussions about this, I also tried to introduce this, but then again, I think all of them doesn't know what this logo represents. So I'll discuss it later on to you. I'll try to unlock what the potential of this software. And by the way, this is Scribber. Okay. Next one is this one. This is very useful, especially in trying to check your grammar. All right, you got it. It's Grammarly. How about this one? This is a paraphrasing tool. Yes, it's a Quillbot. And lastly, we have, okay, this is where we try to read some researches. Okay, that is correct, Google Scholar. Now, kindly type in how many correct answers did you get? Let me know by commenting it in our comment section. All right. Now, again, these tools or these softwares are some of the softwares that is included in my session, and we will try to discuss it one by one. When and how are we going to use it for us to write our research easily? All right. Now, let me ask you this question. Let's try to reflect on this question. What hinders you from doing or writing a research? Okay, think. Also share your answers by writing it or typing it in our comment section or chat box. All right. Thank you very much for those who are answering or who are sharing their answers. Okay. So now, since we already reflected on our issues regarding research, let's talk about the barriers in writing a research. Okay. Now, there is this one research of Junsu, which is entitled um, "Problems Teachers Face in Writing a Research." And according to his studies, there are three main reasons, and that is time, cost, and lack of interest. But as you can see, I also added statistics and composition writing because personally, these are my reasons why I find research very difficult. I am really confused with the statistics and I am not also good in using technical words in writing a research. So I added that one that makes it five reasons. We have time, cost, statistics, composition writing, and lack of interest. And to see if these are also the reasons that other teachers are facing right now. So I conducted a survey or a poll from among the 30 teachers in our division, asking them to pick one reason, the primary reasons why they don't like to write a research. And these are the results. By the way, the blue icon represents or is equivalent to 5 votes. The purple one is equivalent to 2 votes, and the orange one is equivalent to 1 vote. Now, here is the result of the survey I conducted. For time, there are there are 11 teachers voted for that. Cost got 5 votes. Statistics got 14 votes. Composition writing got 25 votes. And the lack of interest got 7 votes. So, out of those reasons, obviously, composition writing is the number one issue or the number one problem that we face in writing a research. It is then followed by statistics, time, lack of interest, and then cost. And I guess the number one or the primary reason that we really have to address is composition writing and statistics. Because if we already know how to write easily and we already know how to do the statistics easily, it will save us a lot of time. And of course, it also encourages us to create more research, right? Okay, now since composition writing is our number one number one problem, let's try to find ways on how to address our problem in composition writing. Okay, so here is the research writing tips that I am using when I write my research. Now, it is very important that we keep in mind that in writing, organization is key. We have to be very organized with what are we going to write or how are we going to write it or the steps that we do in writing a research for us to make sure that all the details, that all the necessary information should be included in our research. And so I have these 4 steps for us to really, for us to be organized in writing our research. Number one is select topic carefully. This is very important because this is the first step in writing a research. You have to think of a topic. You have to think or you have to find a problem that you need to address. Okay? So first is select a topic. Now, the topic should be in line with your skills, with your mastery of the subject matter, because if you try to choose topic that you don't like, it will be chaos. Um, you will not be sharing a lot of information, or you will not be very effective in that area. So again, you have to select topic that you are very knowledgeable, and topic that is really close to your heart, something that you are very passionate about. Like, for example, you're an English teacher, so instead of researching about numeracy, you can just stick on literacy, language usage, or the like. All right. Now, if you're a math, math wizard, you can do problem solving, research topics, that kind of thing. All right. Now, after you have chosen a topic, you have to make an outline. Make an outline of your research. So what should be in chapter 1? What are the things that you have to include in chapter 1? What are the different parts? So later on, I will be sharing to you the outline that we are using in our division in writing and action research. Okay, next one is to read and jot down notes. So reading is very important when we are doing our research. We have to read some related articles or related studies about our topic for us to know, for us to have an idea on how are we going to do our research, what are the possible research instruments or research design that we can use in our research. Now, I would like to share to you my strategy in reading and jot down notes. So sometimes when if I have free time, I try to browse in the internet. I go to Google Scholars or Eric.ed, and if I read a sentence or paragraph that is somewhat related to my studies, I try to copy it and paste it in a document file and just paste everything. And after that, I print it and then highlight it with different colors. Like for pink highlighters, I use pink highlighters to signify that it is this sentence should be in chapter 1. I'm going to use this sentence for chapter 2, something like that. So that's how I read and jot down notes. And the last one is make a draft. You have after you gather some information, or you have read a lot of research already and you think you are ready now to write your research, you start making a draft already. Okay? Make a draft. And I would like to share um, an interesting, somewhat like trivia. This is a method, rather. Um, I learned this one from my high school teacher. Yes, high school English teacher. And he said that when you write something, you have to read it the next day, or you have to edit it the next day, because we become wiser every day. Our thoughts is better than today. Our thought is better today than yesterday. So I think it's very effective up until now. I always do that. And for me, it's really effective. So I don't know, but you can try it if you want. But for yes, it's really effective. Again, um, the research writing tips, or the process or the steps, is only four. Number one is select topic carefully, meaning you have to choose a um, topic that you are knowledgeable and you have the resources. Next is make an outline for you to make sure that everything is all the information needed is included, all the parts are there in your papers. And then read and jot down notes. You have to read, because it is only in reading that you can get ideas on how to deal with your research. And then next one and the last one is you make a draft. Make a draft and try to edit it the next day. Okay. Yes. Now, as what I've said, the first step is to select a topic carefully. Now, I would like to share to you how I make my topic in just a snap of a finger, or how to make a research title in a very few minutes. So I am using a research title generator. This is a website. This one is a website, yes, from helpfulpapers.com. So let me show you how this works. You're just going to input keywords or key terms that um, you would like to have a research title, and then automatically it generates a lot of research title. All you have to do is to choose the title that suits your preference or that suits your plan. So let me show you how this works. Okay, so you go to your web browser, and then let me play the video first. Your browser and you type research title generator, so and then you click the first one that pops up in your browser, and then you type again the keywords, or like for example literacy, and then tick the box education. Okay, and then below you can see generate, click generate, and then ta-da! You have now some list of research title that you can edit to make it more suitable for your research. All right, see the magic. So you just have to again input the keywords, and then you got a bunch of research title. You have to edit it to make sure it fits your research. Okay, next one is, so um, we're done with how to make or how to select a topic or how to make a research title. Next is to make a research outline. So as what I've said a while ago, I will be sharing to you the different parts of our action research, or the outline of our action research that we are using in our division. Okay, now here it is. The first one is chapter 1, which is the introduction, and it has different parts. The introduction has different parts. The first one is context and rationale. So in the context and rationale, we have to answer these 4 questions. Number 1 is, what is your action research all about? So you have to give the background of your study, or um, is there any memorandum, or is there any law about or supporting your research? Next is, why did you conduct such action research? So you're going to mention your observations, or you're going to mention the problem supported by a data that is happening inside your classroom, since it is an action research. So this is a classroom-based or a school-based research. So you're going to share there the problem. Number 3, the paragraph 3, how did you address the gap in your research? So what are you planning to do to address the gap in your research? Next is what is expected from your action research. So how does your research help your school, your classroom, your community? Okay, so again, our context and rationale should answer these four questions. What is your action research all about? Next is what is the problem in your research? Next is how are you going to address the gap or the problem in your research, and how is it useful in your school or in your colleagues? The next part of the introduction is the research question. So this is interesting because action research again is much easier than the basic research. One of the things that distinguish the two is that action research only has one question, whereas basic research you have to have the main question and the other specific questions. So again, the research question in action research is only one. Next is the intervention, strategy, and innovation. So in this part, you are going to answer these three questions. So in the first paragraph, you have to describe again the problem. You have to share your observations. You have to give data or that serves as the basis that there is really a problem in your classroom or in your school. In the second paragraph, you have to discuss what is your intervention to the problem. So you're going to share what is your strategy that you use to address the problem. And then in the paragraph 3, how will you conduct the intervention? So you will share you will tell the process or the steps before, during, and after. How are you going to implement your intervention before, during, and after? So again, in chapter 1, we have the context and rationale, wherein you have to answer 4 questions. Next is the research question, wherein you only have 1 question to answer. And then the last one is the intervention, strategy, and innovation, wherein you're going to elaborately discuss the problem, and then also the intervention that you're going to use to address the problem, and how are you going to implement it before, during, and after. Okay, now for chapter 2, this is now the action research method. So these are the parts of chapter 2. The first part is the design. And the design, whether it is a qualitative research or quantitative research. But action research usually dwell with quantitative research, usually. And then next part is participants, wherein you're going to also mention the sampling technique that you use in choosing your participants. Then the third part is the data gathering method. So how are you going to gather the data? What are the instruments that you're going to do or you're going to use? And then next one is the data analysis. How are you going to analyze the data? Are you going to use the quantitative approach, the what do you call this one? The mean median mode, somewhat like that. And then lastly, the ethical considerations. Okay, so let's have a short recap. Again, chapter 1. Chapter 1 has 3 parts. The first one is the context and rationale. The second one is the research question in which you only have to answer 1 question. And then the third part is the intervention, strategy, or innovation. For chapter 2, we call it the action research methods. It should include the research design, the participants, including the sampling technique, data gathering method, data analysis, and ethical considerations. Okay, for chapter 3, it is now the part where you're going to discuss the results and reflection. And chapter 4 is your action plan. So it's an action research So you really have to make an action plan on how to share it and how to implement it and how to disseminate it to your colleagues. Okay, so as you can see, or as you have observed, we only have 4 chapters in action research compared to basic research. So meaning this is more direct and concise. It's much easier than the basic research, and it also takes a shorter period of time to accomplish. So action research usually is done within 6 months. Okay, so again, let me do a short recap. How We have 4 chapters in action research. Chapter 1 is introduction, wherein we have 3 parts: the context and rationale, the research question, the intervention, innovation, and strategy. And the second chapter, the chapter 2, is the research methodology, which includes the um, the design, the participants, the data gathering method, the data analysis, and the ethical considerations. And chapter 3 is the discussion of results and reflection. And finally, chapter 4, the action plan. Now, we are done with selecting a correct topic and trying to easily write a research title, and we are also done with making an outline using those different parts of the action research. Now, this time, allow me to share to you some academic search engines that is very useful for our research. So we have here Google Scholar, Virtual LRC, eric.ed.gov, Microsoft Academic, www.loc.gov, Science Direct, Academia, and are a lot more. There's a lot more in the internet. All we have to do is to explore it and to read mga research journals. All right. One of my favorite, if you would ask me, one of my favorite here is eric.ed, because I think they are more direct, and the abstract are very concise, and they use simple words, easy to understand. And the very famous one, of course, is Google Scholar. Okay, so again, we have Google Scholar, Virtual LRC, eric.ed, Microsoft Academic, LOC, Science Direct, Academia, and RefSeq. Okay. Next one is we have to address, next one is making a draft. Now, these are the tools or the software that we can use for us to easily create our draft. Okay, we have here the Quillbot, the Microsoft, and the Grammarly. So Quillbot is very useful in terms of paraphrasing. So when you have read an important sentence or paragraph that you got from Google Scholar or any other academic search engines, and you would like to put it in your research for you to prevent it from um, for you to prevent copyright issues, you can just paraphrase it if you don't want to uh, cite. Yeah, so you can use Quillbot. So later I will try to show to you how these softwares work. Okay, next is Microsoft. And the thing that I like about Microsoft in writing a draft is their feature, which is Thesaurus and Thesaurus and what is this? Thesaurus. Yeah, thesaurus. Because some of the words like however or moreover, so it's somewhat like I've been abusing those words. I've been using it most of the time, so I would like to make diversion. I don't like to sound redundant, so I use the thesaurus feature of Microsoft. And then there is also this new feature from Microsoft, the editor part, wherein you can see the originality score, and somewhat like it's a Grammarly also. Um, it will review your work, the grammar, the spelling, as well as the originality of your write-up. Yeah, it's in Microsoft 365. Next is Grammarly. So Grammarly is very famous. It's very popular. We always use it to check our grammar. And at the same time, if you are using a Grammarly Pro, you can use it to check the originality score of your write-up. And the good thing about this one is you can you can control how your sentence would sound. So if you wanted a more professional, more like if you want to sound professional, so you just have to tick the box professional, or you want it to be friendly, somewhat like that. So again, it's very amazing with all these technologies. And actually, and by the way, Grammarly can be embedded in Microsoft Microsoft um, applications. So you get somewhat like it's an add-on to your Microsoft. Yeah, I'm using that one. There is a Grammarly embedded in my Microsoft already, because I think these are very important for me to easily write a composition that would really sound professional. And then, okay, so let me show you how um, how Quillbot works, right? Let me play the video. So by the way, this is an example. This is my work, the first action research that I made that was funded by the region. Okay, so for example, that you want to paraphrase that word. So you're going to go to quillbot.com, or there is already an application for that one. But for me, I would like to use my browser. So you have to paste the text that you have to just copied, paste it, and then click paraphrase, and you got it. You have a paraphrased words, and then you can copy the paraphrase paragraph or sentence. You copy it, and then you paste it on your draft. Why is it not moving? Okay, so I guess that's it. Again, it's a paraphrasing tool, and if you are a pro, you can also use it as a um, somewhat like a Turnitin. Yeah. Next, let's have this one. No, no. Okay, let's have now the features in Microsoft. Okay, so again, I love Grammarly. Yeah, okay, let's start with Grammarly. So again, I have a Grammarly in my Microsoft Word. So instead of going to their website, I can now just click the Grammarly button, and everything and all the tools that I need is there already. So as you can see, yeah, for especially, so it gives us the right spelling and also the explanation why it's wrong, why we have to change it. Yes, including the punctuations. So it's really amazing. Our writing, aside from we are writing, we are also learning some grammar rules, thanks to Grammarly. Okay, so you can see in my screen, Grammarly also features plagiarism checked, all right, clarity check, and then you can adjust goals if you want it to be um, more professional, or you want it to be simple or friendly. you can click it here. All right. Next is, no, we're done with that. Yes, this one is, okay, let's try to see how I use Microsoft in making my draft again. I am really fond of using the thesaurus. You can see it in the review button, the thesaurus. So instead of using despite so many times, I can look for another word. Like for example, innumerable, highlight it, then copy and then paste it there and search. And then there you go. You have lots of words that you can replace with innumerable for you not to sound redundant. Okay, so again, we have three softwares or applications that we can use for us to create our draft easily. We have the Quillbot if we want to paraphrase, and we also have Grammarly to check our grammar, or you can use it also as a plagiarism checker. And we have Thesaurus from Microsoft, and for the new feature in Microsoft, we have now the editor wherein you can check also the originality score of your work. Okay, okay. Now, we are done addressing our problem in composition writing, wherein we have to follow the four steps, specifically the selecting topic. Next is making an outline. Third is reading and jotting down notes using the different academic search engines. And lastly is to make a draft where we get to know already that possible or different applications and softwares that we can use to make it more easy and fast. Now, let's try to address our issues in statistics. So as what I've said a while ago, most of us are having difficulty in understanding statistics, right? And nowadays, we are very much blessed because the advancement of technology has made our life more easier, especially in research, because we already have now statistics calculators, online or offline. So later, I will be showing to you how this online statistics calculator works, okay? So let me show you how it's done. Okay, so in your browser, you search statistics calculator, okay, and the first one is a calculator.net. I really like it because it's very complete. So you just have to type all the values that you have, all the data that you have. Like for example, you have the raw score, like that. You just have to click calculate, and then you got it. You have now the mean, the median, the mode, the largest, smallest range, and so on and so forth. So in just one click, you have now the statistical data that you need in your action research. So basically, action research is not that complicated because you just have to use measures of central tendency. So that's it, guys. That's how you use the statistics calculator. See, it really makes our life much easier. Now let's try to see how the other one works. The other one works. Okay. All right. By the way, if we don't have any internet connection, we can also use offline statistics calculator using our Microsoft Excel. Actually, there are lots of formulas there, statistical formula that we can use. We just have to explore it and try and practice it. Okay. Now, here are some other useful software for research that I am excited about to share to you. So this is what I'm talking about a while ago. This is the Scriber. This is very amazing and easy to use, very useful for referencing. And for infographics, after you're done with your research, you now have to create your presentations. You can have Canva or PowerPoint to make it look professional. Okay, now let me show you how Scriber works. Okay. You go to scriber.com. Okay, just go to scriber.com and you will see there citation tools. You have to, for example, this one, I just copy the um, URL of URL of the information where I get URL of the website where I get the information, and then paste it in this box, and then click search, then choose that one. Then you just have to fill some of the information, then cite resources, and then there you have it. You now have your reference list, and you can choose what kind of reference style you want, but usually we use the APA 7 generation, so this is this format. So automatically, without any labad, you have now your reference list entry. You can copy this one and then paste it in your reference page in your draft. Okay. So again, this is very easy. It's very powerful. So some of us might say that one of the things that makes research difficult is the referencing, because we don't have any idea about the Chicago style, the APA 7 generation. But to make it much easier, we have now the Scriber tool, wherein we can just copy the URL from the website that we get the information from, and then we try to paste it, and then automatically Scriber will create or will make that reference, or will cite that reference for us in the style that we prefer. So let me see, you just have to copy it, and then Microsoft Word, copy to clipboard, and then paste it in your, okay, you can cite web page, journal article, book, video, and online news article. So see, it's really powerful and it's really, really useful. Okay, and they also offer another another tool, like they can be used as a plagiarism checker, proof reading and editing, checking citations, paraphraser, grammar checker. So all in one. Scriber is our best friend in terms of writing a research. Okay, let's proceed. Now this one is, I think it's Canva. So let me show you. I know all of you or some of you is already fond of using Canva, already knows how to use Canva, but let me share you how powerful Canva is in terms of creating infographics. So I am now showing to you the infographics that I used during the Division Research Congress. So I made my own infographics. I laid out it by myself because I am the one who knows knows very well my topic, so I can present it in a way that I want to. So see all the graphs, all the um, icons. It's really pleasing. And now let's have a session recap. Let's try to recall everything that we have discussed by playing a game, four picks, one word. I know you know how to play this game, so I will be showing to you four pictures and you have to guess or you have to tell me one word that describes all the pictures. All right, let's start with this one. Okay, who can tell me if you know the answer, kindly type it in the comment section. Yes, it's a title. Very good. Next one. And speaking of title, again, we already know that there are research title generators in the web. So we don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about our research because there are already softwares and applications that can suggest research titles. All we have to do is just to edit it to make sure that it is really suitable or fits our research. Next, okay, the next one is, can you guess it? All right, very good. It's an outline. So the next step or the next step in writing research is to make an outline for you to make sure that all the parts are included, that you don't miss any information in your research. So you have to make an outline for you also to be very organized, because again, organization is key, especially in writing a research. Okay, next. And speaking of outline, let's try to have a recap first on um, the different parts of an action research. Chapter 1 is introduction, yes, and we have three parts. We have the research, context and rational, research question, and innovation strategy and intervention, correct. And for chapter 2, we call it as the research methodology. We have five parts for that: the research design, participants, including the sampling technique, the data gathering method, the data analysis, and the ethical considerations. And for chapter 3, we have now the discussion of results and reflection. And for chapter 4, um, we have to present our action plan. How are we going to disseminate our the findings in our research, the results and findings in our research? Okay, now again, in action research, we only have to answer one question. Okay, one question only, right? And okay, we're done with the outline. How about this one? What do you call this one? Give me a word. Okay, the answer is yes, read. Reading and jotting down notes is very important in writing a research because it gives us an idea on how to make our research. What are the research instruments that we can use in our research? So we have talked about the different academic engines wherein we can read some valid research or studies related to ours. Okay, we have the Google Scholar, Eric.ed, LRC, Microsoft Academics, or we also have LOC, um, RefSeq, and the others. Okay, next one. Can you guess this one? All right, it's software. So we already discussed the different softwares that we can use for us to easily craft our or create our research, write our research. So we discussed the um, statistics calculators. We also mentioned about the Microsoft Excel, and of course some productivity tools like for referencing, we can use Scribr. For layouting, we can use Canva, or for infographics, Canva, and for the presentation, we can use PowerPoint presentations. All right. And so that would be all for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have learned something from this session. And I hope that soon I can read your action research. So never consider research a difficult task because it would really help a lot of teachers like us who are also struggling um, in their classroom. So again, we can help them. We can effectively help them if we are sure that our strategies are also effective by doing a research. So again, thank you very much. May you all may you all prosper in the future. Thank you.